것들아, 저건 내 거다.
You're seriously going to take everything? Did we start the business?
이거 앞에서 만민이 평등하지.
맨날 위험하고 왜 나야?
Projected profit loss $7,300.
이모 같은 소리 하고.
Some people. I know. With all the theme months, Trey, you've been doing all these theme. Well, it's over now. You're getting new movies. We can finally catch up with the new movies. So I got a new movie from you. This is new. You ain't never heard this before. Okay, I got that new. I got that exclusive. It ain't exclusive. Shut up. Don't worry about all that. Welcome to the Movie Club Podcast. I am Trey D. Price. Joining me, first time, long time, the art master himself, Guru. That's what I said, Guru. Mr. Wesley. How you doing?
It's a lot to live up to. I don't know about Guru.
Look, if you, and I usually say the plugs till later, but if you sit here and watch this man's Twitch channel like I do, you will say the same. Guru. This man will take a collage of pictures and make it into an image likened to Michelangelo himself.
That's high praise. I don't know. I was happy about. I don't know. I was glad you thought about me for this one because this movie was super good. I enjoyed this movie a lot.
I don't know what it was, man, but when I thought about it, I was like, who would appreciate this the most, man? Who would appreciate people? If you don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about Space Sweepers, that new Korean smash hit. The VFX, like, I'm gonna be honest, Wes. I'm gonna be honest with you. Here.
Mm-hmm.
My biases are out. Okay, my biases are just shown. I like to come to every movie impartial and with a critical mind or a critical
Mm-hmm.
film. I try to get my Martin Scorsese hat on. Just put that real film hat on. I couldn't for this one, man. This was
the room fills with smoke and you just
mm-hmm. Exactly. It's all misty. Like I didn't watch this on Netflix. No, I watched this from an actual projector that was in the back. One of those old school film reels. I got one of those when I watched this. However, this movie gives out so many odes of anime, of like Cowboy Bebop, of just like all types of those cool space scenes from Star Wars, the X-Wing flying all over the place. That I'm just in love. From frame one, I'm in love with this thing. If you give me a crew of ne'er-do-wells and space shit, just space stuff, just all the space
shit.
stuff, I'm in love, man. I don't know. What did you think?
I mean, yeah, the visual effects are really disarming because like you, I kind of like, I don't know, I've been trying to study a lot about writing and just like watching way too many film analysis like videos and stuff like that, and like I tried to go into it, like I took notes and everything, but it just like I found myself just looking at the screen and like totally just like it was hard to think about it critically because it was like candy.
No, most definitely. I don't even know where to start. Like yes, I think really the biggest draw here is that the visual effects are like just like you said, they're disarming. They are off the charts. This is I think, and I might be a little bit out of the know because I'm just now starting to get really into like a lot of people probably are just starting to get in like Korean cinema. That Parasite put everybody on, right? Once that Bong Joon-ho came out, it was like, yeah, okay, now we're all fans of Korean films and stuff, right? So I'm starting to jump on that bandwagon myself, right? So I thought that a lot of the Korean films and things coming out of Korea might have been lacking in the visual effects department, before I started watching Parasite and stuff like that. And I feel like maybe some others could agree with me. Maybe. If not, leave it in the comments. I want to hear your voices. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, no, they stepping up. They better than these effects right here is better than a lot of Western blockbuster films we're getting out here right now. Netflix. Y'all talking about making like this new Cowboy Bebop. I can't say this enough. Y'all talking about making this live action Cowboy Bebop. Give it to Joe Sung Hee. He know what it takes.
This is their blueprint. This should be they need to take a look at this and just see, you know, the insane amount of detail that has gone into almost every single shot of this movie.
Yes. Oh my God. Like from like the heads up displays to like the fact of the captain's gun at the end when she puts it all together. That it was just textured so nicely. And it's just like usually it just when you see some like flying like ship combat or stuff like that, or you know, like a robot mixed in a scene, it looks unbelievable. Here, everything just felt real and gritty, almost like those old school Star Wars effects. You know, like how they put a little just layer of dirt on everything just to make it.
Yeah,
like,
I think it is like officially being kind of marketed as like Korea's Star Wars, which is pretty. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty huge.
That's high. That's a high bar right there for a lot to clear. I think something I compared this to is I think it came out last year. I don't know if you've seen this. It was a Chinese film, Wandering Earth.
No, I haven't seen that.
If you like this, I definitely recommend checking that out. Also a very good visual effects heavy piece that I thought that for a second I thought that was also Korean, but it isn't. And I was like, oh snap, because Korean is popping off with this visual effects. And also the action. Action is really good here. Yeah. We have a lot of really good stunts, and I think again, I think I'm trying to make a case on why Jo Sung Hee should be doing this new Cowboy Bebop, because like all the action kind of feels like it could be. They got some nice cinematography with their action, which people, if you've been watching like our short film Fridays, I talk about this quite a bit. I might have talked about this on other movie clubs, that I like a little bit of camera movement with my actions. I don't like, you know, unless you're old boy, then you can do whatever you want to. But if you're not that, I like a little bit of movement. I've been spoiled by the Fast and Furious movies, and The Rock, when he put Jason Statham in that table, they did the rotational camera. So now I want that with everything, and they got this movie had that. What's old boy that used to be the drug king?
Tiger. What's his name?
Tiger Park. That's the boss ass name. Got like flipped into the wall by old girl that did like the rotational joint, and I felt it in my back. My back hurt. I was like, oh my God, I need to go to the chiropractor. So a lot of good choreography, a lot of good cinematography with you know, in reference to the visual effects. I think it's all of the shots are just there to make the scenes look believable and pretty. And a really good cast. I think a really good cast all around.
Yeah, honestly. I think so too. I think they definitely killed it. Like I kind of want to go back and watch it in the original language now. I know I kind of committed
did you watch it in dub?
A sin watching it in English. But.
Oh no! Oh well, that's all for Wes. Thank you for being Wes. We are it's
good to be here. Yeah,
we are a subs over dubs family. You are now excommunicated.
No, see, this is good. You're gonna get two different perspectives.
So what did you think of it as a dub then? Like their performance. Like what did you think of the dub voice actors?
I thought they were fine. Like I mean, I think a lot of times dubs feel too cartoony, or like just like way overacted. But I think like it dipped into that a little bit, and I could tell I was just like, oh man, I'm gonna have to rewatch this. But no, it felt very fitting, like, and it didn't detract from any of the heavier stuff in the movie either, which there's lots of heavy shit in this movie too. So.
There definitely is. On a note of the dubs versus subs, this is just like a little tangent because you know I'm good for those. But Netflix got this new show Lupin, sort of based off of Arsène Lupin and those stories, and the dub for that is atrocious.
Oh my gosh!
If you go look at the trailer for it, the Netflix English trailer, you'll see the main character who in the original French sounds very charming. Like he just honestly, I'm just gonna lie, man, sounds sexy. they got, I think they got Michael Jai White. It sounded like Michael Jai White to voice him in the English dub. I'm just like, oh no, he don't. That voice don't match his body. I don't understand why are you doing this. So I'm glad to hear that this didn't go that route, because it definitely can be hit or miss. I want to shout out the little girl, Park Yi Rin, who plays Dorothy, because honestly, a really good performance out of her. Like, usually the child is the worst part of any movie, and no, I really dug her performance here. It made, like, I'm just gonna say this: at the parts I was supposed to be sad, I was sad, and the parts I was real happy, I was happy, and most of it was that little girl. She was real good at little girl.
Oh yeah, she was kind of the centerpiece of the movie. I think like this movie wouldn't be anywhere as good if it wasn't built around like her as a mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much we can give away in these podcasts, or if these are like spoiler free, or we try to maintain some of the mystery. But
I have gone over in my whole life a measure of spoilers, because I feel like by the time it gets to us, people have already seen it. If you haven't already seen it, that this is Wes. Welcome to the movie club. We're actually really a movie school. Usually people, I am the headmaster. The people I bring on are guest teachers or TAs, and these are for the directors of the film. We send these to the directors of the film. They just so happen to go on YouTube for the benefit of our YouTube audience and Facebook and iTunes and all that stuff. But really, this is for, so if you have anything that you want to tell them, the director, please do so. You're free.
Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't have anything in mind yet. I just wanted to make sure before I went, on a rant or something.
Please do. Now, I'm going to say, because I do have a problem. I do have a problem. And I think this movie went on a little long. And mostly because I think there was a bit of drag in the middle. I think there was a bit of drag in the middle. I think it's because they hewed a bit more towards sappy character development than this sort of time sensitive chase that we had going on here, the fight for this little girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's my critical film brain fighting my Fast and Furious brain. I don't know if this is like the back and forth between those two, but there are just moments where, because like I said, when we do all the space stuff, it's great. I just feel like there was just a lot of time of them kind of playing house, which I don't know. You might have needed that in order to make like that ending feel more impactful, because there's a twist. There's a couple twists. One twist having to do with the little girl, and then one kind of fake out ending that honestly got me. I'm not gonna lie, and it did get me. Because I think it was that build up with them having emotion. I'm a little back and forth on how I feel about like the middle part of this film.
I think that was kind of a symptom of there being like just a million different ideas happening in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch it, like within the first 20 minutes, you know that there's so much more to the world building than they're able to show in that like kind of like opening bit. And I think it's hard because it reminds me of the time I watched and like I made lots of like in my head connections to the movie Serenity, because that's what that's for me what it felt like the most was the movie Serenity and the show Firefly. But like Serenity was able to do what it did and have the story that it did because it had, like the backup of being like a short-lived series before it was a movie.
Right.
And a lot of things they kind of just like didn't care about explaining. They just like, if you've seen the show, great, you know what's going on. If you haven't, we're not going to take the time to explain it here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with this movie, they took a lot of aspects and they're like, this is why this is this way. And this is why this is this way. This is why, this is the intention of this person. And I think if they had left out some of that and just kind of let us do the world building ourselves, I think they would have benefited from I don't know, not having to explain everything.
I can agree with that wholeheartedly. There was one thing that I felt like I don't know. I might be wrong about this, but that I felt like should have been explained more, but wasn't. Was our villain Richard Armitage, James Sullivan, the CEO of Utz, which I thought for the longest time they were talking about the potato chips, and I was like, oh my god, we're leaving in the Utz hegemony. Utz is taking over like Taco Bell took over in Demolition Man. This is insane. I thought people forgot about those chips. Apparently not. Welcome to the space future, everyone. And James Sullivan, who turns into, I don't know, Purple Hulk. Like, he turns into Purple Hulk, which is what happens when you eat too many Utz. I didn't know this, but I looked it up after the film. It's called Utzitis. And I don't know. Maybe I missed something. You tell me if I missed something, Wes, but I feel like they don't explain why he turns into Purple Hulk, and he just does it. He has a demon voice, and it's just, I'm evil now. Like, he tries to go all good Palpatine. He's like, yeah, then for the Galactic City. And then when the doors close, and now I'm shoot you in the face. Like, oh.
The doors close, the bag tears open. You know,
exactly. So I'm just like, what's going on here? I mean, all right, dude, be a villain. I guess you just are villain for villain's sake, and that's fine, I suppose. I like me some charismatic villains. I don't know. So I don't know, and then like I could be super off too. I assumed it had something to do with the nanomachines because I know that was a big plot point, and I thought maybe maybe they were going to do something with him like injecting himself with the nanobots, and like that was in his bloodstream, and that's why he was getting super weird and veiny all the time. Right. But they never really went anywhere with that. I was kind of surprised at that. It was really just a way to just like show that he's more evil. Like, we didn't need to, man. He was a businessman. We assumed he was evil from jump. That was all we needed. He wore a nice suit.
After you start making a certain salary, that just happens to you.
That just happens. Like, no, for real. Like, look at Juan Carlo Esposito and The Boys. Like, he's wear that badass suit. He a villain. Like, it's just truth. This is science, people. We're not bringing you options. This is science. Just like Utz. We make you into villains. That's all I'm saying. That's all. Just put it out there. Just put it out there. No. So you know what, man? I'm gonna go ahead and one thing, since we're talking so much about the villain, the visual effects company. The visual effects company was Dexter Studios, which also was behind the production of Along with the Gods, The Two Worlds. Which I think is a sequel to another movie called Along with the Gods. So if you're looking for something that is visual effects amazing like this, I suggest going to check that one out. That is a movie I acquired and never watched because we live in a time of abundance and things just slip through the cracks. So I will be checking that out myself. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick since we were just jerking off the VFX so much. They should pay us. But no, I'm gonna give my thoughts. I'm gonna tell Mr. Jung Soo-hee what I think. Make sure I said that right. Jo Soo-hee, what I think. Sir, I believe you have made a excellent film. I think that I think, and it isn't written by, you are actually part of the writing team, 3-man writing team for this. And I think if you like make it a little bit more tighter, punch up your villain characters, because I also feel like, what was her name? She played like the captain of the guard. She replaced the old boy as like the captain of the space guard. She's played by Carla Fernanda Avila Escobedo. In the movie, she's named Camilla. She was really good at being menacing in presence and kind of chasing them. But apart from that, there was not a lot going on with her. And I would have liked more from her as well. So definitely punch up your villains here because they are an important piece of a fun adventure like this. But as far as visual effects, so you have an eye for visual effects. I think probably the best that I've seen in a while. And that's saying a lot because freaking Outside the Wire just came out with Anthony Mackie in it, and I thought that visual effects was good. But this right here is that good stuff, Mr. Soo-hee. So I will give your movie, sir. I will give your movie an B+. I'm gonna give it a B+. I'm gonna give it a B+. I want you to take what you've learned here. I don't want to see you back here again in my office. I want you to, because I don't want to put you in summer school. You don't want that. You want to go out there and play with your other friends. So I give you this B+ in the hopes that you learn and come back with some A+ material next time. Mr. West, what about you, sir?
We're giving grades now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, I want to give him a B for the story. But if I can split the visual effects into its own grade, that's A+ all the way.
Oh, you wanted them teachers, okay?
But this is a curved grade. This is
Okay, all right. Please continue.
I was reading. It took him 10 years to write the story for this, which is pretty wild to kind of consider, like 10 years condensed into, what was it, like a 2-hour experience?
Mm-hmm. About 136 minutes, give or take.
And I think that I'm a victim of that myself. Is just like spending too much time with a project is how you get so many different crazy ideas and try to cram them all into one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wondering if you thought this might work better as a mini series instead of a movie.
Honestly, yes, and that honestly, that's for me. That's from the advent of Netflix and especially watching a lot of these watching the Disney Plus Marvel show like WandaVision right now. Yeah, I'm starting to think a lot of things would be better as a series rather than a movie. Just like wholeheartedly, I'm starting to become biased against movies. I've said this before, people. I am starting to really like short form content more than I am just a long form. It's just there's just less of a like if you want to watch one episode and ingest that and then leave, you can, or you can sit there and binge it all. It leaves you up the choice. So yeah, definitely. Especially because sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think a lot of the main characters could do with a little bit more, like a lot of that could have been explored in its own little storyline in a series. I think that's excellent. I think these characters are strong, especially like the captain. Yes, I would definitely love to explore her more. And because I feel like that was just, it was in there, like her and Tiger Park. Like we got so much of our main dudes like storyline, but those two like they just like. And then
their
this stuff
stories
happened.
Sounded so good. Like him being, what was it, like some kind of like cartel boss or something, and like she was a military person who had like defected and become like some kind of.
She became a space pirate. She became a freaking
literally
space
that.
Dude literally says, "You're the closest one to pull a gun in my face." Like I want to see. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. And okay, so I wrote down a few other things too. Like extra content that I think this could have benefited from either exploring or cutting out. Okay. I think so there are a few scenes where we get to see actual like life on this, utopian place that the villain is trying to kind of cultivate himself. But it feels just, and like I know the whole point of it is that it is detached from the story, but there's almost like, I think I could have done without a lot of those scenes of like the people living in that spot. But I think it would have been great to have, like, if they are going to have that, to have like almost like a really small side story of somebody who actually lives in this like perfect utopia and like kind of discovering the cracks in the seams and because like that, I think there's a lot of potential there. Something like
lead them to getting killed by James Sullivan. You know what I mean? That we have somebody like we have an emotional connect to that leads to an emotional connect to the people on that platform than just small cut-in scenes that are just like, and they're on the utopia. Fine. Like, yeah.
And I think it would have made the whole scene with like the leaked audio like a lot more impactful, because that just kind of felt shoot in a little bit to me, just because like if people in a perfect world discovered some kind of like weird audio of like their great leader saying stuff, I mean like that at that point they're basically a cult. I don't think that's going to be like a turning point for them, but if it was its own story, then I think that it would have a lot more depth to it, and like there'd be a lot more potential to be like, oh yeah, they like some of them are actually starting to see the light of what the world is outside of this utopia.
Right.
Anyways. that being said, that giant hologram scene is like one of my favorite shots of the movie.
Yeah, the Coachella.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
That was
nice.
like that was really cool. I don't know why that one really got me.
Because someday, Wes, you hope to be a giant hologram somewhere. Like that's how you
Yeah.
answer doorbells. It's like somebody comes up to your house. It's just a giant hologram. Yes, you may leave the Postmates right there. And it's just freaked out. Like, what the Yeah, I can see that.
I'll have that at my my tombstone. It's just someone comes by.
Don't what
Giant
you doing right
hologram
there?
comes
Like
up.
it just harasses whoever goes, what you doing over there? It's like, wait, what?
Don't touch that.
Don't touch that. Leave me some flowers. Oh my God. So, people, you have heard what we thought. As usual, let's hear what the people themselves thought. Now, since this is a Netflix original, obviously we have the budget, which I will go ahead and say is, I don't know what Korean currency is called. I just realized that. But converted to US, it is $21.2 million. But unfortunately, we don't have the box office because it wasn't shown in the box office. So let's go to the tomato meter. And at a 60% tomato score and 81% audience score, I kind of see this. I kind of see this. Critics not being, again, when you wear your Martin Scorsese hats, you probably not feeling this movie as much as a general audience goer, because this is sit down popcorn blockbuster fun time. And honestly, I can't fault anybody for feeling that same way. There, like me and Wes said, there are probably a lot of things that we were probably wrong about that you can go back and be like, but what about this? Sure, fine. But I had a lot of fun with this movie. I think this movie is a lot of fun. I think there are a lot of bones here that, like Wes was talking about, could either be made into a series or into a series of shorts that you could release alongside of this thing. I do think the world that they've built here could do with some more development and exploration. Honestly, just for an excuse just to see them do a lot more of the visual effects, because we don't really have a lot of like spacefaring like media out there anymore. Like once Star Wars kind of like hit the peak, it just kind of went downhill from there. I remember Ender's Game being like the last really cool like space opera thing that I freaking saw, but everything else has been like boring. Like Valerian and the Thousand Planets, I almost fell asleep during that movie. So this has been the one that has excited me the most in a long time. So that is what it is. People, thank you for joining us. Wes, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Well, I stream sometimes with Suri, or twitch.com/Wasuri. I'm working on more of a presence online. It's in a bit of a flux right now, just trying to get more time management down. But
Ain't we all?
I'm also on Instagram, a lot of work on Instagram, same username, Wasuri. But yeah,
I can attest, people. I have been to both things. There are good things, and of course, the little Trae outro that comes out after me will have all my stuff. So I'm just gonna say thank you for being here. See you later. We love you, and goodbye. Peace with the two things.
Is highly lethal, extremely dangerous.
돈이 되는 꼬마란 말이야.
그 폭탄을 되팔아보겠다. 안 돼. 정의롭지가 못해.
뭔 개소리야? 입 좀 다물어.
난 입 벌린 적이 없는데.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Make sure that you check out the other shows that we have on the Facebook, the other main podcast that comes out every other Tuesday. Make sure you leave a like, share it with your friends and your family. Go check out our YouTube where we have content from other Production 1200 works. And make sure you follow us on the Instagram. We post sometimes there. We'll do more. We'll try. Maybe. Like us on iTunes podcast, rate and review. Give us them 5 stars. And we'll see you next time.